Okay, everybody, so welcome back. This is Ian from Mindful Marketplace. It is the 15th, 16th of March, I believe, 2022. And in this short video, I'm going to show you how to use Podia in some cool and creative ways as a community. So you can build an entire community now on Podia, let's say roughly analogous to something like Circle or Heartbeat.chat or Mighty Networks or any of those sorts of tribe, buddy press kind of analogs. I've added lots of different options for community software as a service alternatives within our private course communities. So you can access those there. There are some PDFs that outline all the various options that I think are worth checking out. Some are free, some are expensive, and some are somewhere in between. Podia is great for community because it fully integrates with your courses. So if you're selling products or coaching or digital downloads or full communities with topics and conversations, etc. Podia is a really good option because you don't really need to move people from another platform onto your community after they've purchased a product. They can actually just navigate within their community profile and access all their products, etc., etc. But there are also some challenges to using Podia as a full-blown community. In some ways, it's not the perfect platform yet for community, for to my eye, actually, because some of the interactivity between members is a little bit more limited than a pure experience like a circle, for an example. So, again, it's sort of you have to pick your poisons or you have to pick your preferences or your priorities when it comes to developing a community on any of these tools because they all have some built-in liabilities and some limitations predicated on what they're designed to do best. Podia is designed to monetize your content, monetize your courses, monetize your platform. It's what it does best. And the community feature as it stands today in March of 2022 is really great, but yet not fully fleshed out to where I think it will maybe eventually be, and maybe it will become that fairly soon. I'm hearing some really good noises coming from folks who know what's going on at Podia better than I do, and they're telling me that some community enhancements are coming that are really going to be great. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you a really cool trick for, or maybe this isn't really a trick, it's more of a way of modifying your Podia community so that you can build out lots of different tracks and cohorts to target different kind of elements within your community. So, and I'll show you here, for an example, we have content that's like this. So where we're targeting people who are identifying as empathic or introverted, highly sensitive personality types and are really interested in exploring that. And then I have a lot of entrepreneurial people you can see here. And then I have mindfulness people for programs for kids and teens. And then I have harder core entrepreneurial content like about Ghost and and NFTs and Web3 and selling digital products. And there's not a lot of crossover between somebody who's interested in, let's say, building a software as a service, product, selling a digital download, and is also simultaneously interested in exploring their own empathic, personality types, right? So what you can do in Podia that you really can't do as elegantly in some of these other platforms is you can use the topics tab, which hopefully it'll let me scroll down here so you can see all the different topics that we have here. And then there's actually more of these that are not visible here. But you can create topics within the community that are only visible to the audience that you specify. So people who are, and actually I put this post up here on purpose today because this is generally something that's hidden. Like generally, this isn't even my content. This is actually somebody who's a family member of mine who's really interested in empathic, tarot readings and more spiritual kind of content that I'm interested in as well, but not to the degree that she is, and not necessarily to the degree of esoteric interest that she has with these topics. So, but for an example, something like this, I don't want people in my entrepreneurial audience to see that because it could be a turnoff to them, right? So what I could do, quite simply using Podia, which is really a great feature, is I can create a new topic, and so you can see, like in our community news section, there are 583 members, right? If you look, so every time I update this, 583 people get notified. When I update this, because I just added this now, nobody gets notified. Zero people, right? Because there's nobody in this cohort. Because I just added it for this video demonstration. All right, and the content that we have a fair amount of content again that covers this topic, and I can actually, as you'll see in a second, I can not only protect the community cohort that is talking about this topic, I can also assign the product set or the product bundles that are specifically targeting this particular cohort and audience, and nobody else is going to see that. So the folks who are interested, let's say, in mindfulness, secular mindfulness, or teaching mindfulness to kids, aren't going to see things on light workers and healers, let's say, that Angela's creating and I'm helping with as well. Obviously, people who are interested in whatever. I mean, really hardcore entrepreneurialism, using software tools, techniques, that sort of stuff. That's more kind of like online marketing oriented. Aren't going to see this stuff either. All right, so let's see how this looks really quickly. Let's go to settings. Let's go to, I think it's here actually. No, that's actually plans. So you actually change the plans here as well. So let's go to all topics. Okay, it's here. It's a new topic. Let's create a new topic, and we're going to call this kids. All right, because we have some mindfulness for kids stuff coming. I can share more about that there if I like. I can choose an image or search images. You can actually go to, let's say, image repositories like Unsplash and grab images for this directly within Podia. All right, and this is where it gets interesting, right? So you have these options. Choose who can view, follow, and make new posts in this topic. Anyone who cannot view this topic will not be able to find it on the all topics page, nor in search results. And I really like this for highly segmenting the content and the community that you're putting out there. You don't have this people who are getting the kids-oriented content, I can have them not see anything else if I choose other than the kids-oriented content, making the platform that we're creating appear hyper targeted just to mindfulness for kids, for teachers, for parents, for moms, etc., etc. And they won't even see in the community section all the other courses and conversations that are happening. And I could also do the reverse of that, right? So I can make all the rest of this folks who are already in this part of our community not see the mindfulness for kids content, which is really, really useful for me. All right, and you can also change these settings here. This can be private just to specific plans or members, making it a great way of offering like private coaching. For, let's say, you have a premium coaching plan or product that is only going to be used by 5 or 10 people at a time. Let's say it's a high-end thing. You can have those 5 or 10 people stay within a very tight little cohort that goes through the content, the course, and the learning path together, which is really, really great. You can make it public, which means that everybody can see the content that you add to this section on the front of your community. So all of the posts and all of the content and all the conversation is actually public, making it more sort of akin to a blog, or you can just make it open so that all community members can view and follow the topic, but the public can't. All right, and you can change these. You can toggle these settings here as well. Who can make posts? Either everybody or just you. So if you're running the community and you want to be sort of just fire hosing information down to to the folks who are in that particular topic, it's good for announcements that are just administrator only sort of announcements. I generally want everyone to be able to talk and converse and interact. So usually I toggle this on here, and all members with access will automatically follow this topic and will be able to unfollow it. Essentially, this is if it's a default topic, and all members, people get, when you post something, they'll get notified. You kind of have to play with these settings around what's most comfortable for your community. I have found that I've made some mistakes with this setting, and I'll cover that in another video, but where I kind of don't want people to be getting like notified that I've added like a little bit of content. And, so there are some settings there that we're going to play with in some other videos on how to actually do a better job of filtering that, including some strategies that I've implemented that have been helpful, at least to my eye, for our own community. All right, so we're going to create the topic. We're going to make it public for now. And here it is, right? And then there's your cover image. I'm going to follow it. So now there's one person following it, which is me. And now if I make a new post here, I will get notified, as the one follower. I also happen to be the administrator, but you would do the post adding here, and it'll bring up the editor, and you can do all these kind of cool things now with Podia, embedding tweets, embedding all sorts of different content. You can add file uploads, attach files, add links, add YouTube videos. You can really do a incredible amount of cool stuff within the Podia community that is a little bit more challenging to do in some of these other platforms. Circle's pretty good with that as well. There are some other tools that we've used recently that I really like that are a little bit more limiting with regard to the content you can post. So, Podia is really ideal for us for that. And, we can add links or embed other products within the post. So if we have content that's for sale, you can do that really easily within posts to actually go out to your members who are following the topic, etc., etc. I'm babbling a bit now, so I'm probably going to cut this short. But the salient piece of this is you want to set a topic, and then actually what you can do, which I don't think let me see if we do that here. You can delete topic, obviously. But what we can also do, and I'll do this in another video because I just forget whether this is done in settings or somewhere else within topics, is you can actually assign products to a topic so that folks, that may be done in plans, actually. I have to go back and look. But you can take, let's say, 5 or 7 products that are bundled or individual products, and you can assign them to to a topic using settings, or you can actually set them to be in a plan that gives access that this topic is available for, and I'm saying this poorly, but in the fullness of time, what you're really getting is the ability to give people products that are associated with plans, that are associated with conversation that's happening within your community, that's really hyper segmented just to them and for them and nobody else. And I'll give you one more quick example of how I'm planning on using this in the spring of 2022. We're doing this test thing. I have a partner who's, really big on working with realtors as a marketing person. And one of the things that we're doing is exploring this program for realtors that we'd be offering a community and a monthly sort of membership thing that we were going to do a separate community for, where we'd be selling services. Primarily, my partner would be doing this, but we wanted to be able to offer a community experience to folks who were signing up for this. In addition to they're getting a newsletter, they're getting this, that, and the other thing. These kind of done for you marketing services, high end marketing services. But we also wanted to give them sort of entrepreneurial access to learning information and learning tools and techniques for growing their own audience as a realtor, getting clients, selling more homes, getting more listings, etc. And one of the things we're going to do is, rather than build a whole new community for this, I decided we're going to actually integrate this within one of our Podia accounts. I have one obviously here, and my partner has a separate one for his business, and essentially giving this realtor group, folks who go into this cohort, access to their own private community within the Podia, kind of conversational stream that is completely walled off from everything else that's happening in that community. So all they're going to see is that their content, their conversations, their community is really all they're going to realize is going on in this universe, where separate from from that conversational thread, there's going to be a whole, or there is already, if we do it here, as you can see, there's already a ton of other topics and products, etc., etc. But even if we do it on my partner's thing, there's still a whole bunch of other things happening there that they will be unaware of unless they really, 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 dig around and try to find other things that they can buy, which of course is possible as well, and not a problem either. Nothing about this is supposed to be secret or sneaky. It's just designed to be carefully curating the content, the conversation, and the community to a specific audience to keep them super focused. So that's a short little, kind of overview of how you can do this with Podia. I'll do another video where we cover setting up plans, which you can see. I don't want to get too into this here, but here are some of the plans that we have. But I'll cover that in another video, so this doesn't get too much longer than it already is. It's already 17 minutes and change, and I was hoping to keep this fairly short. So anyway, teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.